I'm drinking my guava smoothie with my fun shot. Alright guys, I'm putting my smoothie aside and I'm gonna get real with you guys here. So, today I'm going to be talking to you about and how I started on my journey to becoming a vegan. For my New Year's resolution this year, I decided that I wanted to be healthier and I wanted to learn more about what I was eating. And I've always been a big health person, but I still was eating a lot of processed foods and stuff like that, and I really wanted to learn what I was eating and restrict what I was eating to a point where I was just eating pretty decently healthy. There's a lot of bad vegan foods out there and stuff like that, but when you're on a budget, you gotta go healthy because it's a lot cheaper. And so going on a vegan diet really has and will teach me a lot more about health. I'm not sure if I want to stay vegan or not. I might be mostly vegan just because it's such a healthy route to go, but we'll see how it goes. I'm feeling pretty good so far. So I started on my journey towards veganism the beginning of this year as a New Year's resolution, and hopefully this will help you guys to be able to get you on your own journey towards a more healthy lifestyle. And so what I did was I realized that human beings don't really change very easily, and despite me loving change, I cannot handle just doing the same thing over and over again. I love change, but I realized that I am a human being and it is a lot easier for me to change extremely slowly than super fast. Just because your body adapts so slowly, even though your brain might adapt a lot quicker. And so what I did was I made a plan, a 6-month plan, so that I would officially be a vegan by June, so last month. And so what I did was I would take out every two different animal products every month for 6 months until I took out all animal products, all honey, anything like that, and became a complete vegan after 6 months. The first month I started to eat 25% animal products, 75% plants. That was my goal. And then on top of that, I took out yogurt. So the next month, which was February, I took out turkey and cheese because I didn't really eat those very often. So my plan was that I would take out food first that I never ate or I didn't eat as often, so that my body would adapt easier to this lifestyle. So because when your body isn't really eating that food, it doesn't really care if you completely take it out of your diet. And so what you're doing the first month is you're training your brain to think, oh yeah, I don't need this anymore. But then, and your body's still already adapted to it, and so it's a lot easier transition. The second month, the third month, for the month of March, I decided to take out beef and milk. This was a hard one for me just because there is milk in everything. any processed food that you eat almost always has milk in it, from what I found. And so it was really a hard thing for me because I would have to always be checking the ingredients list on everything if I went out with friends or anything like that. And so it was a little hard, but I did it. I got through it. It's a lot easier to eat vegan when you're at home and you're eating and buying all the food that you should be when you're eating vegan. But when you're going out with friends or with family and stuff that don't really eat that way, it is a lot harder to eat the way that how your plan is. And so that was the hardest thing for me that month, was having to look at all the ingredients and stuff like that. If I went to Subway, I had to ask them if there was milk in their bread. If I went anywhere, I just had to make sure that I was on par with my plan. Because if you compensate for anything in your plan, then you're automatically back to square one, because your body is no longer slowly changing, it's going back to its old habits. So the 4th month, for April, I took out pork and eggs. I know that those two things were probably I didn't really eat a whole lot of pork. I did eat a lot of eggs. But for April, since it's Easter, it was hard at the beginning to give those up, simply because a lot of my family was eating pork and eggs in everything that they ate for Easter holidays. So that was a little hard. At home it wasn't hard at all, but being out with family and stuff and having either not eating and having to bring my own food, or having my family or friends have to make something for me, or make sure they have something for me that doesn't have those things in it, was a lot more tricky. The 5th month, for the month of May, I decided to take out all dairy and all chicken. That wasn't really a big deal, because once you take out the milk and the cheese, it's a breeze. It's so easy, at least for me. I don't know if anybody else eats like a ton of cream cheese or a ton of sour cream or anything like that, but for me, it was a lot easier just to go with the flow and just not eat the dairy or the chicken. I did eat some chicken before, but it wasn't really like a crazy amount or anything like that. So it wasn't really hard to give up that. And all of this time, it wasn't really hard for me to give those things up. It was just hard for me to give those things up while I was around family and friends, because I didn't want to make those people go out of their way to make sure that I was eating the way I wanted to eat. I don't know, for me it sounds a little bit rude, but that's what you have to do when you are giving up things that are bad for you and going towards a more healthier lifestyle. You just have to tell people, hey, I'm choosing not to do that, and a lot of people will respect you, but it is a little bit embarrassing at first to say, hey, so can you make me a different meal aside from what everybody else is eating? Or, oh, I'm not going to eat that because I am on a diet, or I am trying to eat healthier or something. Sometimes it makes people feel bad, and other times they are extremely respectful of that, and they will definitely go out of their way to help you out. It really depends on the person. So for the 6th month, I had basically taken out all of the main animal products that are in everything, and I just had to take out wild game, honey, and all of the rest of the stuff, gelatin and everything like that. So for the month of June, I was completely vegan. It wasn't really that hard. I went camping and I didn't eat the s'mores that they were eating or the Starbursts or anything like that. But I brought my food and brought my own food, and some people already had food there that was vegan, and so I just snacked on that if they were willing to have me eat that. I was with family, so it wasn't really, I could eat whatever I wanted, but anyway, so it wasn't really a very hard transition. Something that really helped me out when eating with family and friends is that I shared my experience and what I was learning throughout this process. And so instead of just having someone like make something and me being like, oh yeah, I don't eat that anymore, that's disgusting, or that's unhealthy, or whatever, I would say, oh yeah, I can't eat that this month because I am trying something out. I'm on a weird diet, or I am trying to be healthier, or oh yeah, I've had way too much sugar today, or something like that. And if they asked me why I couldn't eat it, or what kind of diet I was on or whatever, I would explain to them my journey and what my plan was and why I wanted to do it. So I would say, yeah, so every month I'm going to be taking out 2 different animal products every month until I become a complete vegan, and I plan to be a vegan for at least 1 month this year as my New Year's resolution. And usually they really respect that, simply because of my determination to get it done and to learn more and to be better and stuff like that. And I would tell them why I was doing it. So I would tell them that I was going vegan so that I could learn more about healthy eating and what was in processed foods and how to eat more plants and, you know, all of that stuff. And so they really respected that. Some people were a little concerned for me because they didn't know whether I would be able to get the nutrients that I needed or not, which I found out that you can absolutely get the nutrients that you need. I tracked my entire eating. I did a eating diary, or whatever you call it, on Cronometer. And I will link that app down in the description. It's pretty awesome. It's like the best nutrient tracking, calorie tracking, fitness tracking app you could ever use. It's so thorough and so great. And so I would track every day how many calories I was eating and whether I was getting the nutrients that I needed. And most of the time, I mean, even when I became a complete vegan, if I could eat like all fruits and vegetables, and I would get all of the protein that I needed, all of the nutrients and everything that I needed, and I felt really good, and I was so full of energy and everything like that. So yes, you can absolutely get the nutrients that you need on a vegan diet. So also sharing my journey also helped me to build my confidence in myself and be more determined to finish my plan to become a complete vegan. So when you are putting yourself out there and saying, hey, I'm doing this and I'm trying to be better, will you help me become better? It's a little nerve-wracking to some people because you're afraid of judgment or something like that. And so when you are telling people that and you're doing it in a positive way, you are building your confidence. It built my confidence so much, like so much, because you are willing to put yourself out there and really talk about some deep feelings that you're having throughout this process. Some people are like, so how's that vegan diet going for you, or whatever, and I I mean, you have to say what you're really feeling. You have to be like, well, I'm feeling really good, or I'm actually kind of struggling today because I've been out with friends and I've been having to look at labels all day, you know, or something like that. I mean, it's really not that hard, guys. But and so yeah, it really built my confidence. But so hopefully that helps you guys out with your health journey. And starting up and getting going and everything like that. And so I did write a blog post that you guys can read that goes a little bit more in depth about this, gives you a little bit more help in terms of tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call it, about starting eating healthier. So if you want to look that up, I will post that link down in the description below. If you like this video, you can subscribe or like to tell me that I can or should make more upcoming videos like this. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. Thank you.